Hello, how's everyone doing? This is Kenya Rockman from the Child Support Hustle, author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and the Reform Child Support Now movement. As you can see in the caption, I'm going to be talking about veteran disability compensation and whether or not it is exempt from child support garnishments. It's a hot topic. It has been for years, and I've written about it in the past, but I haven't made a video about it. I made a short video about it years ago, but I'm gonna go in detail about it because it's something that is still being discussed, and it's real cut and dry. But of course, like everything else with the child support system, they bend the narrative to fit what they want it to fit when it comes to taking money from people, parents that the money is not supposed to be taken from. And that's, I mean, that's it in a nutshell. So I just wanted to give specifics and the statutes and everything like that that says that this money is exempt, just in case you're going through this, about to go through a court case and you're wondering, you hear about it like, I thought this money is exempt. Where do they say this at? I'm gonna give you the links, why it is, the links, and hopefully it can help you. I can help you with your case going forward, or if you already have a case established and this money is being garnished, you can go back and fight to have this case, the case closed. Okay. As you can see, I'm representing Team Army. I am a Army veteran, so salute Hua to all my Army veterans and salute to all my veterans out there. So I'm gonna start off with, as I said, this is a controversial topic, as though although it shouldn't be. Um, this is whether or not veteran disability compensation should be garnished. The short, long, and in between answer is no. Disability compensation is not property and cannot be divided for child support. But just like everything else with child support, with the child support machine, the government bends the law to accommodate the system as it is written, instead of how it's written in code. Hua. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this. So the benefits are paid by the Department of Veterans Affairs, and they are specifically excluded with one exception. And the exception is passed on 42 USC 659 H1B3. There is a test to determine if a payment is subject to garnishment. It's based on if the payment is a remuneration for employment as defined by Section 459 of the same USC section A and H, and is determined by how it relates to VA benefits. We have to look at Section 2A5, which states that, bear with me, this is kind of long. Make sure I have my water. Monies payable to an individual which are considered to be based upon remuneration for employment consists of by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs as compensation for a service-connected disability paid by the Secretary to the former member of the armed forces who is in receipt of retired or retainer pay if the former member has waived a portion of the retired or retainer pay in order to receive such compensation. That is, it's so important. That's the key to everything. So remember that. If you hear, get a thumbs up for me. If you liking this video, if you like my channel, subscribe, please. Thank you. So simply put, if you do not receive retirement as part of your disability compensation, you should not be garnished for child support. According to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, federal salaries fit the test. So if you are getting a federal salary, you can be garnished. The Title II Social Security Age, Survivors, and Disability Insurance Benefit, that money can be garnished. VA monetary benefits, entitlement to which is generally based on with the best disability and wartime service, which is pension or disability from service-connected injury or disability compensation, generally not considered remuneration for employment, not considered. That can be garnished. 5 CFR statute 581.104B. states that payments or portions of payments made by the Department of Veterans Affairs pursuant to sections 501-562 of Title 38 of the United States Code, in which the entitlement of the pay is based on non-service connected disability or death, age, or need, are not subject to garnishment. And don't worry if you're not catching all this. I put all this in the description so you can go and copy and paste the links. So if you need to get it, I have it there, okay? So basically, if you're not, and if you have if you are a service-connected disabled veteran, what they're saying is that money is not based on anything to do with you working or being in the service. It's based solely on you becoming disabled. So we know that the rating is based on a rating, 0 or 10% up to 100%. So it's not based on whether you were E4 in the military, so you get X amount of money. It's based on how disabled on this rating scale you are, based on what the VA rates you, the Compensation and Pension Board. So it's not because you worked for it, it's because you're disabled. That's what they're saying. It's not based on employment or pension or retirement money. That's why they're saying it's exempt. So I don't know how much clearer that can get for them to come back and say, oh yeah, but we are going to take it. But I'm gonna explain that, why they say that they can come back and take it. But basically, it's not based on employment money like retirement. So it's as simple as that. So they're just going and saying, oh, well, we're going to take it anyway. But just like any other money, like disability, SSI, not to say that disability compensation is like SSI or something like that, but it's not based on employment or you putting money away. It's based on you being disabled. Excuse me, y'all. I've been running around all day. So, but I wanted to get this out, get this video made. I was supposed to do it earlier in the week, but this week has been crazy. So here's an example provided by the federal agency. 5 CFR 581.103 C7 states that if a vet who is eligible to receive military retired or retainer pay has waived a portion of retired or retainer pay in order to receive disability, that portion of the VA benefit is subject to garnishment for child and spousal support obligations because that veteran worked. That's based on employment. So regulations clarify that where the vet has waived the entire amount of his or her military retirement pay, that individual's disability compensation is not subject to income withholding for child support. That's where you can find that. It's that cut and dry. The VA has issued regulations to deal with 38 USC 5307, which is the apportionment of benefits. So they even have a whole section for garnishments for child support. They have to go back and apply if they want to get child support out of your, or you can apply. You can actually file this apportionment and say, I want to pay X amount of dollars in child support and send it to the VA. The VA is the decider on whether you pay child support out of your disability. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how this works, but it's not supposed to just come out of your disability compensation payment. So this is more involved, but does not dismiss the fact that unless there's retirement benefits included in your disability pay, you should not be garnished for child support. Okay, so there was a hearing conducted in 1998 with the House of Representatives and the Committee on Veterans Affairs, John Thompson, the acting general counsel for the VA, and he stated that even though VA benefits, including compensation received in lieu of retirement pay, are protected from court-ordered divisions of property upon veteran divorces, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled in Rose v. Rose and stated courts are not precluded from stating child support obligations at such levels that vets would necessarily have to use some of their VA compensation in order to honor those obligations. But during that same hearing, there was testimony represented by Mr. Rick Surratt, and I'm going to spell his name because I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, Surratt, who was the Association National Legislative Director for the Disabled Veterans Association, the DVA. And here are some points that were made during the hearing. And these are some points I think I'm pointing these out because they're important. Like I said, if they're garnishing your disability compensation, these are some points that you can make when you're filing to get your case terminated. He mentions that the VA authorized a portion of vets benefits to be separated spouse and dependent children not in the vet's custody. Okay, Congress enacted a provision found in Section 5301 of Title 38 of U.S. Code exempts veterans' benefits from attachment, levy, seizure, by or under any legal or equitable process, whatever, either before or after receipt by the veteran. That is very, very important. So if you want to make a complaint, make sure you include that in your complaint. History recognizes two purposes for this one is, according to Rose v. Roe decision in 1987, to quote, avoid the possibility of the VA being placed in the position of a collection agency, and quote, end quote, and to quote, prevent the deprivation and depletion of the means of subsistence of veterans dependent upon those benefits as a main source of income. Many veterans depend solely on their disability compensation. So they're making sure that we veterans get the money that we live on for the entire month. That is what that's set up for. According to another case, Wisner v. Wisner, I think I'm saying that right, Wissner, that was in 1950, the court identified a possible exemption for alimony and child support with the basis for exemption was that family support obligations are deeply rooted in moral responsibilities, while the community property concept is more akin to a moral business relationship. And that's the family support obligation is moral, whereas the community property is another thing. And the VA disability compensation is not considered property to be divided, whether it's for child support or spousal support. It's not supposed to be divided. Another thing is that in some states, the provision was implemented to prevent the diversion of veterans' benefits to persons other than the veteran. Other states, he said, blatantly just ignore this clear law. And that's a problem with child support in general. A lot of these states ignore every law with debtor prisons, as far as holding hearings to determine ability to pay, with revoking passports and not sending notification, with dads by default, when the process servers lie on the summons and say that they served the summons to the man and didn't. They get a dad by default and then hold them accountable to pay child support. These states violate the Constitution and the federal level laws and operate this system. So that's why I say throw the whole thing away. So Surratt explains that the state quotes have twisted the clear language of this law in all manners of ways to avoid the exemption it provides for veterans, end quote. This has resulted in the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, completely changing its earlier interpretation to go along with the states. And that's backwards, and that's a clear violation of what the Congress had decided, which is to protect veterans' disability benefits. Even though Rose was upheld in favor of the state, Justice White was one of the judges that dissented with the decision. And these were I'm going to tell you some of the reasons that he cited. And these, again, are some of the reasons that you can use if you're going to court and if they're using your disability compensation to calculate child support, or if you're already paying child support out of your disability compensation. And don't forget, if your retirement is included, that's why they're garnishing your disability. So this is what Justice White said. The court ignored the plain language of Statute 3101A prohibiting and creating an exemption. This was in Rose. The fact that the administrator can appropriate a portion, is in place to offer some protection to the family while protecting the veteran from garnishment to their disability compensation. In 1975 and 1977, when amending the Social Security Act, Congress declined to extend permission to garnish veterans' disability pay. Congress passed the Uniform Services Former Spouses Protection Act, which permitted state divorce courts to apportion military retired pay to divorce proceedings, but withheld such permission to VA disability pay. That's why the VA provides for apportionment of VA benefits between the vet and his or her dependents under certain circumstances. VA VA reference 38 CFR section 3.450A12 states that if a vet is not residing with his or her spouse, or if the vet's children are not residing with the vet, and the vet is not reasonably discharging his or her responsibility for the spouse's or children's support, all or part of the vet's pension, compensation, or emergency officer's retirement pay may be apportioned or divided or allocated, but not if it would cause undue hardship to the veteran or in certain circumstances specified by statute or regulation. That even says if it's going to cause an undue hardship to the veteran, they can't even apportion some of the benefits. With hardship, when the hardship is shown to exist, 38 CFR section 3.451 authorizes. This is what that section authorizes. A special, and I'm sorry I'm reading this straight through, but I just want to show how many ways they tell us and tell the states and the judges and the government period officials, you can't touch this money. And yet they still do it. So they want it in black and white. Here it is in black and white. And so when you file your complaints and when you file to close your case or when you go and plead your case, and they say, well, where does it say that? And no, we can garnish. You say, no, you can't. And this is where it says it. So that's why. So, I'm gonna always read stuff because I like to put everything. I like to put facts and resources and things like that when I explain stuff. So it's a little. I'm a little dry when I talk and do these videos, but this is all of it's important. But I want to make sure I gave statutes on this because I get veterans hit me up all the time, almost every day. And so I just have, like I said, this one article I wrote years ago. And instead of updating the article, I said, let me go and actually do a video and put this stuff in, put the sources right there. So I could just have it out there again. So I hope this is, my video is easy to follow and information is y'all getting, and I hope it's helpful. That's the whole reason why I do this, you guys. I just hope it's helpful. They shouldn't be doing that. FTWS 41. So if the hardship exists, .38 CFR. I'm sorry, guys. Excuse me. So this section authorizes a special apportionment of a beneficiary's pension, compensation, emergency officer retirement pay or dependency, and indemnity compensation between the vet and their dependents. The apportionment is based on the facts in the individual case and may not cause undue hardship to the other person in interest. Factors include the amount of veteran benefits payable, other resources and income of the veteran and those dependents in whose behalf apportionment is claimed, special needs of the veteran, the dependents, and those applying for apportionment. Ordinarily, the VA considers that an apportionment of more than 50% of the vet's benefits would constitute undue hardship on the vet, while the apportionment of less than 20% would not provide a reasonable amount for the recipient. So, and this is another thing with the child support system as a whole. This system operates as a one-size-fits-all type of agency, and we are all have individual situations, individual family situations, and we cannot be governed in a one-size-fits-all environment that the child support system is pushing on us. And that's why it's so disastrous and so dangerous and so harmful. One of the reasons. And so, just like it says here with the apportionment, it has to be based on facts. Nearly every child support case is like a rubber stamp. They just go on what the guidelines are. They're not based on individual circumstances. It's over, well, this income has to go down, or this is going to be based on the custodial parent's income. Well, what if it's different? What if the situations is different? What they're not looking at individual cases. They're just passing it through like everybody's situation is the same, and we're not the same. And just like they're saying facts and evidence, they're supposed to base the cases on facts, and they so rarely do that. So I hope this clears up whether, or lets you know once again that disability compensation is exempt. They say it over and over again, and you do have a valid argument if they're trying. I seen a comment up here that says that they're trying to put somebody in jail over their VA disability. They should not be doing that, and I will file a complaint right away with the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement or the Department of Health and Human Services against the agency in Texas that is trying to incarcerate you. And another thing, if they haven't given you a hearing to determine your ability to pay, and if your ability to pay or your income is based on your disability status, which is probably unemployability, if you're disabled, and if you're a disabled veteran or know a disabled veteran, you know that the VA doesn't pass out disability status and payments like candy. If you're disabled, the VA, you're disabled. So it's not up to a civilian state rep or child support enforcement person to determine whether you're disabled or not and whether you can go to work. The VA has already determined that you are disabled. You don't have to further prove your disability to a civilian court or a civilian caseworker at the child support office. I had the same issue at my former employer. I'm showing them my paperwork from the VA, and it wasn't good enough. I said, well, my paperwork trumps your paperwork. Deal with it. Oh, I'm glad that you asked, Earl. So I don't know, but I've been getting messages saying that, and somebody actually emailed me last night that the petition, they're getting a message that there's malware when they try to go sign the petition. They're getting a message like there's a virus or something if they go forward on my website, and I don't have the SSL certificate, and I do. So I don't know what's up with that. I went and looked, and I do have an SSL certificate. If you guys remember, I don't know if you've been rocking with me for a while. I had a website like a year and a half ago that was hacked, and I mean hacked badly. And I was able to recover a lot of my stuff, but I had to rebuild my website. So I have the SSL, and it's all locked down and everything. So somebody hit me up on Twitter and said that they were getting this malicious message and all this kind of stuff. So I hit my host up and tried to find out, and they said I'm secure. So, and I paid for extra security because of the hack job that they did. So I don't know. I was going to make a post to see, if you're getting that message. I'm I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if there's something like blocking people from going in there, but are you having trouble signing a petition? But other than that, I have been actively tweeting the petition to Biden, President Biden, and the Biden administration, but we haven't even reached 1,000. I know that there's more than 1,000 people that have tried to sign it, because on the another screening app that I have over 1,000 people that have went there. So the numbers don't add up, but it's all, people say I'm paranoid, and I say this on my videos. It's all, they play with my stuff. Anytime you kick that real stuff, your stuff is going to be played with. Your numbers are going to be played with. That's why I don't do live videos on Facebook anymore. They used to take my stuff down and all kind of stuff. So hopefully that won't happen here on YouTube. So yeah, if you tried to sign the petition, please go back and try to sign it. And if you get that message, take a screenshot, if you will, if you got a chance to, and send me an email. I'd really appreciate it. Then I can get to the bottom of it and we can see what's really going on. My email is cshustle1@gmail.com. Thank you, Marcus. You keep fighting too. And thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, click the like button, guys, and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. We got to get the numbers up. I see movement. I really do. So we just got to come together. And, the more people there is fighting, the harder we are to ignore. So let me see. So again, your disability compensation is exempt from garnishment for child support. This is because disability is not based on remuneration for employment. Those benefits are exempt. There's a process that the agency must go through, and if they want to garnish your disability compensation, and they must be decided by the VA on an individual case-by-case basis, and it must take into account if the apportion approval will cause a financial hardship for the veteran. In many of these cases, disabled veterans only have their disability payments to live on and cannot afford to lose one penny. So make sure that you let the VA rep know and child support agent know that they will cause you a financial hardship if they garnish your compensation. Furthermore, disability is based on that. Disability is based on a rating system created by the government. It is not based on how much you earned serving in the military. The fact that the government ignores its own statutes put in place to protect the men and women who have served in the military from these unconstitutional child support guidelines shows that no one is safe from the system and its punishments. What's the use of making guidelines if the government officials only ignore them just to take money that doesn't belong to them, while lying and claiming that it's a violation and it's in the best interest of the children? That's unconstitutional. Again, I hope this video helps answer some questions for you all. And file a complaint if this is happening to you. And I just went over this stuff, and you're saying, wait a minute, that they're still doing this. File a complaint. And I think I put the link that you can use to file a complaint with the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement in the description. If I haven't, send me an email, cshustle1@gmail.com. and I will send you the link. And or you can go to my website, and there's a contact form, and you can send me a contact and just say, hey, can I get the link to file a complaint? Okay. Let's see. Paperwork to the state or federal. Deny any response. Have you tried to reach Eric? Have you tried the regional office? Sometimes, well, I know that they'll respond quicker if you go through the regional office first. And I know that you have to file a complaint with the local child support enforcement office first, or they'll ignore it. Let me see. So yes, please go try to sign the complaint. I'm sorry, the petition. And okay, I'm glad I answered your question. So don't forget, guys, subscribe, click the like button. If you want my book, The Child Support Hustle, it's available at my website, thechildsupporthustle.com. You can get a t-shirt and show your support for the movement. I'm not selling masks anymore because I have full faith that this coronavirus is going to be over sooner than later. If you have any questions, if I can give you a quick response or something like that, I will be happy to. You can send an email to cshustle1@gmail.com. If you're looking for individual help with a case, I used to, if you see messages or like me back, yeah, help me get the likes up, Earl. Thank you. If you see, because I used to do work with individual cases, I just don't do that anymore. Time restrictions. And I also say this: if you have considered becoming a live kidney donor, check it out. You can save many people's lives by becoming a live kidney donor. They have a swap program, so you can donate a kidney, and you can essentially up to save like 20 to 25 people's lives by donating one kidney. So if you even considered about becoming a live donor and you're kind of on the fence about it, it might be something you want to check into. And if you should need a kidney later on in life, you don't have to go onto a long waiting list. You go to the top of the list, but they're going to screen you so thoroughly that they'll make sure that the chances are slim that you will go through kidney failure. So that's my little plug. Donate a kidney, save a life. Let me see. Here in Columbus, Ohio. That's my home. If that's where you, I don't know if you're in Columbus, Georgia or Columbus, Ohio, but if you're talking about Columbus, Ohio, go Bucks. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for clicking the like button. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. I'm going to keep sending videos your way. And I'm going to keep you updated with all the, whatever they're trying to pass laws. If we're trying to pass legislation, I'm going to be interviewing an attorney. If you were looking at or if you follow my Instagram or YouTube, you saw that there was a paternity fraud case out of Houston out here. And the attorney working on it is Cassandra Daniels. And I'm talking to her. They're trying to get some legislation passed about that, the paternity fraud or the rescission, that what they call it, the time limit that they have on rescinding paternity. So stay tuned because I'm going to try to get my little hookup here. I had to come into my room because my dad's out there cooking. I can't kick dad out the kitchen. So I had to make provisions. But stay tuned because we're going to come on here and do a more in-depth interview with attorney Cassandra Daniels about that paternity fraud. So a case out of Houston. So if you want to know more details about that, please go to my Facebook channel, the Child Support Hustle on Facebook, and it's like one of my most recent posts. And go check that out. All right, Buckeye City. All right, Eric. Okay, so thanks, y'all. Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's go. Let's get the numbers up. Let's get that petition, the numbers up. If y'all see an error or malicious, whatever, I'm secure. So that's somebody messing with us. So okay, so see y'all next time. Y'all take care and thanks for the support. Y'all stay safe out there and be kind. Be kind to one another.